I'm Leigh Brown. This is Crazy Shit in Real Estate. Today, you're going to get to enjoy a conversation with Jenna Guerrero. She is from Louisiana, and our conversation is, frankly, she's just a happy, positive, light-filled person. I think you're going to enjoy her journey and her story. So enjoy the conversation, and I'll see you on the other side.
Hey, ma'am.
Hello, Jenna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Love how your hair matches your design on the wall. Was that on purpose?
No.
Well placed. Use of red there. All right, now tell me how I pronounce your last name.
Guerrero.
Exactly what I thought, Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I need to roll an R in there?
Guerrero? Like that?
Yeah. I roll an R.
If you want to get fancy with it.
One of my good friends is a past president in Miami, Jorge Guerrero, but he called himself George. And I'm like, when I met you, we were in Spain. And so you're always going to be Jorge Guerrero.
Yeah. I have family that live in Mexico.
Very nice. Do you ever go visit?
I do. So they have a ranch out there. They have a tequila factory. And then they have...
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the good stuff, like the 100% agave.
Oh, yeah.
Tequila.
Oh, it is probably the best tequila ever. It's so good. So it doesn't bite at all.
Does it say Guerrero on the label? Is it like your family name is on the label?
It has Maria Guerrero on the label because that is my great aunt. And she signed the label with her name. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you give that away like gifts?
I do sometimes give it as closing gifts.
I think you should. I think that would be like the perfect gift forever.
Everyone in our town knows like the tequila girl, the tequila princess is what I get called.
The tequila princess. Okay, I love this so much. Okay, let's see. I'm going to have to find a way to get a bottle. They sell it in the U.S. You have to go to Mexico to get it.
I can try to ship you a bottle.
Yeah, I will send you Venmo or Cash App or Zelle.
As if. I'll send it to you. Give me your address. I'll send you a bottle.
Since I'm married to Brown, I have the most boring last name ever. But before that, I was a Thomas. And so I had the second most boring last name.
So I'm married, but I didn't change my last name.
He understands, doesn't he?
Absolutely. I'm like, you can change your name.
Like my husband was so surprised when I changed my name because I built my real estate business was already fairly well established. And he's like, I thought you did it. I'm like, I was a T and now I bumped all the way to the top of the alphabet. I am. All right. So Jenna, tell my audience, where are you located? They now know your last name as well as I do. Give them a little bit of background on your awesomeness so they can know who we're talking to today.
I am located in Houma, Louisiana, which is 45 minutes southwest of New Orleans. So basically, we call ourselves the bottom of the boot. If you go any further, you will hit the Gulf of Mexico.
Nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have oil rigs there? Is it that part of the boot?
They do drill like out of Fouchon. So Fouchon's a little bit further south than we are. Yes.
So hang on. Is Humboldt where they were building that jazz land? Is that the direction in New Orleans where Jazzland was built, went underwater?
Yeah. Yes.
I knew it sounded familiar. Have you ever seen the documentary about Jazzland?
No, I haven't.
It's creepy and fascinating. It might be my favorite commercial real estate documentary ever and probably the only one I've ever watched. And it's all about the politics in and around what happened with the park and what happened with Katrina and the highest and best use of it. It's from 2016 or 2017. It was either on Netflix or Amazon Prime. You should go look it up.
I'm going to check that out.
And that was just kind of an interesting thing that I was thinking about. Okay, so how long have you been in real estate?
I actually went to Jazzland when it was empty.
Okay, because that was the creepiest part of that documentary was like it was frozen in time.
Yeah, it was really cool. I have pictures of us. We kind of just like went on a random weekend to
Were you teenage lady was going through an opening in the fence?
Maybe. Or maybe like over the fence.
a CrossFit thing, like a
yeah, it was a workout.
So the Spartan course with an obstacle, right?
Yeah, that was really cool.
You didn't hurt anything, didn't touch anything.
We just looked around.
You're probably lucky you didn't get tetanus in there.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
It's so weird. Like they were showing, you can see the documentary, but Okay, viewers, I'll find the name of it and we'll add it to the show notes because I should know the name of it. But in the administrative offices, like the clocks were frozen because it stopped all the power, and then the calendars were on the wall for the opening days, and all the staff uniforms were still in their little plastic bags as they come from the Lemons Company. It was almost like watching Titanic when you see the videos from underwater and you see the dining room froze. It's wild.
Yeah.
I love those frozen moments in time kind of things. But then I was, towards the end of the documentary, really aggravated by how the political know-it-alls were treating the developers and the ideas that could have created something really helpful to the citizens of that area. And so there's actually a whole story in there about how what we do in real estate is wildly impactful beyond what we sell or even what the public sees at the end of the day. There's all these other machinations going on, and it told the story better than I can. But anyway, so back to you.
I'm sorry.
Rabbit hole for no reason. So, Jenna, you've been in the business for how many years?
11 years.
What did you do before real estate?
I was a customer service representative at a bank for 6 years, and then I was a stay-at-home mom for 1 year, and I'm just not about that life.
You gave it your all. And
I tried, but like the stay-at-home mom thing, kudos to the moms that can do it. I am not that mom.
But those mommy wars are real. I don't know about you, but I didn't know how bad it was till I had my first child. And then at the time, of course, we didn't have social media. I'm a little older than you are, but there were these online forums, and the SAHMs, that's the stay-at-home moms, versus the WMs, the working moms. That was a daggone war going on of who was doing it right and who was doing it wrong. And all I could think was, I wish I were equipped to be a stay-at-home mom, but that is not how the Lord built me. And I tried, and I didn't last as long as you did, but we tried. We tried. Kids, all kinds of different possibilities. And so customer service, though, for 6 years in a bank.
I started out as a teller.
Did you?
And then after a year, I made it to customer service, and I was there.
What was the best part of that?
Just being able to help people. I love people. I love helping people. So the best part of it for me was whenever a customer would come in, I would be able to solve their problem.
Well, I guess you have a finite number of solutions in banking. It's either fix this, check this, go fix this. Whereas in real estate, the solutions are infinite.
Oh, absolutely.
But it is a nice direct overlay to real estate. So how did you land in this particular space? Were you following somebody? Did you watch HGTV? What drew you to this business?
So I decided I could no longer be a stay-at-home mom, and I applied through a staffing company to find something part-time. And I interviewed with a real estate agent to be his assistant, and I had no clue what the position even was. He hired me on the spot. I started on my birthday, and I was his assistant for 6 months, and he was like, you need to get your license. So I did. And then I became his partner, and now, I became his partner and then a solo agent. And now my husband works for me as my assistant.
So you just set hooks and reel things, and reel it in and set another hook. Because I'm kind of fascinated by this, that the real estate agent who hired you the first time was so desperate for help, they went to a staffing agency.
Well, they had hired a few other people and it just didn't work out for them.
Right. I'm just really surprised because I think most real estate agents, at least all the ones that I know, have seldom gone the corporate route to finding help. They usually just go to the internet and say, hey, somebody come help me. Hope the right person lands. But instead, I'm kind of fascinated that the regular corporate pathway got you in. But what I love about him is that he saw all of the promise that you had outside of that administrative space and said, you're going to have to go live in a bigger space because I see you there. And what a wonderful gift that was for you.
Absolutely. He really was a saving grace for me because being able to become a very successful real estate agent got me out of a really bad marriage, I guess you could say. As far as development goes, I am not the person that I used to be at all. It's because of real estate.
So was it because of the financial freedom that you got through real estate, or was it the confidence you got because he believed in you at a time when nobody else did?
It was both. Mostly, I think the confidence part, because I had very low self-esteem for a very long time. and I didn't have really a whole lot of self-worth, but he saw something in me and helped to grow that and develop that. And then it made me turn into a completely different person.
Did he ever tell you what he saw in you? Have you ever like quizzed him and said, what about me?
He said that he saw a light in me at our interview.
Oh my God, it's so amazing.
Yeah. And him and I, like, we're best friends for a very long time. But, you know, I outgrew him eventually, and he was proud of me for it.
Well, I will say, as somebody who has watched people come into my brokerage and then become amazing and then fly to another brokerage and go somewhere else, it's not even hard feelings. It's, look how good she's doing. I mean, us old brokers have a huge amount of pride watching you find your own space and then build a new brand. It's not even necessarily that it's you building you brand. It's you building a new brand. And there's something really special and unique about real estate in that there's always a new pathway you can take. Like you just described bringing your husband in. That's a whole new pathway. So it's part of building that new brand. And how in the world did you suck him in? Was this he's always dreamed of it, or he's been helping you anyway and figured he may as well get his license if he's going to have to help anyway?
I was basically drowning.
If you are remotely awake, then you know that we are heading into some really tricky economic times. We have home buyers that have put the kibosh on buying because they have interest rate shock. We have sellers who have found out suddenly their houses aren't dipped in 14 karat gold. And as a realtor, you are still trying to keep up with the business you have and trying to answer questions in the meantime, while also managing sky high fuel cost at the pump. Never fear, because my new video course is coming out right now, and it's called How to Dominate During a Recession. Look, I've been a realtor for 22 years. I came through the last recession by the skin of my teeth. Actually, not even the skin of my teeth. My business went up every year during the Great Recession, and it's all because of education and getting in front of the curve so that I could serve as many neighbors as possible and help them weather this storm as well. So this course is 4 modules. There might even be some bonus content for you. And I have priced it so that everybody can get a hold of it and go out there and do great things for the American dream and for home ownership. The price is $199. Click on this link. If you take action, you can be the one who brings great information and great solutions, and also paired with realism and optimism into the marketplace that you serve. I am delighted to bring this out as quickly as possible because, friends, there's no time like the present to make sure our neighbors are stronger and we protect the American dream.
With work and business, and he had been in the oil field for 8 years, and he was at the top of where he could possibly go. He wasn't going to go anywhere else. So I was like, either I need to hire an assistant or you can work for me. And we have 5 children. So being able to have, because I was doing everything. I was doing the mom thing, picking them up from the bus and bringing them to practices. And because they were in, competition cheer, competition ball, all the things. And I was just killing myself. I was just tired. I was killing myself. I was like, I need help. So he, during COVID of all times, studied for his test, and in November of that year, left his oil field job to come and work for me.
That's awesome. Is he enjoying it so far?
I mean, I'm the best boss ever, so of course.
You said, look, if you come work for me, we won't have any more kids.
Yeah, right.
Stop at 5. If you don't come work for 6.
Yeah, we got 1 more in us.
Just 1 more. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you got 5 with 6.
I got some signs and lock boxes in the car, baby. Where are we going?
Oh, look, our kids measure houses and stuff and put signs out.
But you know what? They have to come into that entrepreneurial understanding that if you're not helping mom and dad out, you don't get to do competition cheer and competition ball because they're not free.
Absolutely.
And have done all of that travel ball stuff. No, it sure looks amazing, and it should for what we all pay for it.
Definitely.
So coming out of customer service and giving birth to an entire new generation, good job. And now training your husband, being a business partner, and also having been an administrative assistant. You've worked in so many different angles of life and of real estate. I'm dying to know what in the world is the story out of your parish in Louisiana that is something you completely were surprised by, didn't expect to happen in real estate. What you got for us, Jenna?
Oh, this one's, yeah. Okay. So the year of COVID, again, I had a contract on a house and the buyer was a Coast Guard couple. A Coast Guard couple.
What's that mean?
They work in the Coast Guard. So we get coasties that come in every 4 years and transfer out.
Your accent is different than mine. I thought you were saying like coastal. I'm like, what's a coastal?
Coast Guard. Got that Southern accent.
You got that Cajun version and I've got the redneck version. So that's fine. So back to the Coast Guard. So there's Coast Guard in Louisiana, by the way.
Yes, ma'am. So we did an early occupancy for this couple. They moved in a week before closing. I was going on a trip to Destin with my family for a week. I made sure everything was done before I left. I had checks delivered, everything, keys, like all the things. I get a call from the other agent. It was a text. I got a text from the other agent while I'm sitting on the beach relaxing. We have a problem.
Of course we have a problem.
Yeah, of course. So I immediately call her and I'm like, what's going on? The title company did not call my seller and tell him that he needed to bring $60,000 to closing to pay off his mortgage. He had no idea.
You say 60?
Yes. The kicker is he had ordered a payoff before we accepted this contract because I made him order that payoff. And he was like, we're fine. We're good. I'm going to break even. That's all I need. I just need to walk away. It was a divorce situation. It was difficult. All of the blood rushed from my body at that moment. And so I immediately called my client and I'm like, what is going on? He's like, I don't know. I just showed up. They told me I needed $60,000 to sell this house. Jenna, I don't have $60,000. And I immediately was like, okay, so what can we do to fix this? I had to do a short sale on his house. It took me 18 months to close that short sale and get him out of that house. And I ended up doing it for free because at the end of the day, he still owed more, and the commission that I was getting paid, as well as the buyer's agent, waived her commission. We both worked this deal for 18 months, longer than 18 months, and neither one of us got paid.
Where the $60,000? Why was it? I don't understand. You pulled payoff. Where did it come from? Was it a HELOC that he forgot about, a home equity loan, or
the house was going into foreclosure? He never told me that. Never told me that. And that's something that I go, it's on our listing agreement. Is your house in never told me that. So at that point, he kind of, lied to me from the beginning, but the house was going into foreclosure. So the payoff that he saw was the principal payoff. The $60,000 was the fees that he incurred from not paying his mortgage for 2 years. That he also did not tell me was happening.
I mean, first of all, kudos to the buyer for being willing to stick it out and wait. And second of all, kudos to the buyer's agent for being cool enough to work with you. So we're going to go ahead and throw some kudos to their side.
Absolutely.
But for the public and for the realtors that are listening to this, and you can't figure out why the seller lied to Jenna, I will tell you, it's all pride. There are so many emotions wrapped up in financial failure that if he had admitted that to you, he would have felt like he was just going to be ruined and embarrassed forever. So he thought he could hide it. And y'all should know the banks might do a lot of things, but forgetting about what's owed to them, that's not something banks do.
Correct. So now part of my listing presentation for everyone is I need you to order a payoff and give it to me because I never want that to happen again.
No, that's great advice. And frankly, we're recording this in the middle of 2023 and financially it's pretty choppy waters right now. There's a lot of layoffs happening and inflation is still in place and interest rates are rising. It's a weird financial place. We could see more of this coming down the pike just because people get into financial bad places and you and I don't always know which seller it is. And the fact that they can't tell us the truth is an excellent reason to order the payout. That's a brilliant strategy. And I think every realtor listening to this should be like Jenna and ask that hard question and get that hard information.
And I do a seller's net sheet for every single one of my clients whenever I'm sending them an offer. And I let them know, hey, if you get this 30-day payoff for me, I can plug that payoff in and you'll see what your check's going to be at closing.
I will be so helpful to you. What a wonderful resource I'll be if you'll just give me everything so I can make sure you're not lying to me.
Right. Yeah. I never want to go through that again. That was a nightmare because short sales, are not short. There's nothing short about a short sale. And had I known that in the beginning, I would have approached it from the beginning as a short sale and it would have cut off some of that 18 months.
But you were coming into the business at the end of that short sale and foreclosure era. And so it wasn't like it was in 9 and 10 where everything was a short sale. And so I'd say for any realtor listening to this, if you came into the business after the end of the Great Recession or at the end as we were starting to come back out of it, you've got to go get the education on these because they're a miserable paperwork beast, but they can be a godsend to somebody because it's a slightly less devastating hit than foreclosure to them. And they're better for, frankly, the community because the house doesn't sit there vacant for a while. So, hey, what you've learned now is going to come into benefit for somebody somewhere.
Right.
They just tell you they're going through this.
I'm doing another short sale right now. I have a lady whose son passed away and she inherited the house, but she can't afford the mortgage. So I'm helping her through that right now.
I like that phrase you use. You're helping her through it. That's the phrase more realtors should be leaning into because
that's our job. That's what we do.
Exactly. If you help, you can get somebody to a better solution. It's not just about the paycheck at the end. So everything that you're doing, obviously it wasn't with your first short sale there because there was no paycheck at the end, but there was goodwill at the end.
The Lord blesses those who are a blessing.
That's right. But are you ever going to go back to Destin? Because I don't think I could look at that white sand again if that was me.
I've actually been back twice since then. I really like the beach.
I love beaches, but I don't know. I have some PTSD myself.
It wasn't Destin's fault.
Look at you, Jenna. You are a light. You are a freaking light of positivity. I love that. So now tell our listeners and viewers, how do they find Jenna Guerrero if they want an expert in the boot of Louisiana and need a little positive light in their lives? What's the best way for them to find you?
They can find me on Facebook at Jenna Guerrero. I'm on Instagram. I'm Jenna_Jam26 because my nickname here is Jenna Jam because selling houses is my jam. And then I'm also on TikTok, Jenna_Jam26.
So do you give away jam as a closing gift?
Yes. So they have a little place here. It's called Tart and they make the best jalapeno jelly. So it's a jam. It's not a jam, but it's still the best. So I'll do that.
Custom label that says selling houses is my jam and here's yours.
Yeah.
Love it. You got it going on, sister. I love it.
Thank you.
Friends, you got something nice to say about Jenna? Drop it in the comments. And if anybody was watching this and figured out the name of that documentary before I did, you can drop it in the comments too. Again, all Jenna's information is in the show notes for this episode, so you can go make friends with her if you need a little light in your life or some expert in Louisiana. Jenna, thank you so much for coming on the show and giving us a little honest story about life and teenagerhood, which you let that sneak out, but also you're bringing all of us as realtors to be prepared and educated because you never know when you're going to have to change gears to help somebody.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on.
You got it. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Make sure you hit the bell to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.
So if you found value in this episode, please like and subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell, and catch another amazing episode by clicking above. Crazy Shit in Real Estate is also available on all of your normal podcast apps. So if that's where you like to hang out, go find me, click subscribe, and most importantly, leave me a review that says you think I'm awesome, my guests are awesome, or this content is just exactly what you were looking for. And then, by the way, if there's something you need, you want to learn about something, you can comment below anytime. You can also send me a direct message if you need to remain anonymous. No judgment. But anyway, I'll only judge if you forget to subscribe and click. I'll see you next time.